Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. A few weeks ago, here in Lagos, Governor el-Rufai of Kaduna State famously declared that what happened to Saraki, the Senate President, Bukola Saraki in Kwara State, could as well happen to Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, the leader of the All Progressives Congress in Lagos. A clear reference to the surprise defeat that was suffered by outgoing Senate President Bukola Saraki during the 2019 general election, bringing the strong man of Lagos politics, if I may use that phrase, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, into the conversation the way he did, and implying that he could suffer the same fate, despite his obvious alleged stranglehold on everything Lagos. This has led to questions as to whether this was a subtle way of delivering a message to Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. To help us now with more perspective on this and President Buhari's second term is Joe Igbokwe, who has had cause to respond to Governor el-Rufai of Kaduna State, and who has had cause to defend Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Igbokwe is Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress Lagos State Chapter. Joe, good to see you again.
Good morning.
I don't think we've seen since the elections. No, okay. Well, I don't know whether to congratulate you.
You should.
or to just say, let's go straight to business. Now, you have had cause to take on el-Rufai, the governor of Kaduna State. I thought he was making a principled point about godfatherism in Nigerian politics, something that a lot of Nigerians have had cause to deplore, as something that is negative and that should not be encouraged. But you, in your response, you wrote this praise song. We will follow Asiwaju, we will worship Asiwaju, we will do this with Asiwaju. I read it and I said, what is going on here with Joe Igbokwe? You want to defend yourself?
You see, people talk is very cheap. You don't get published in the World Series overnight.
You don't get published?
Published.
Okay.
The World Series I'm talking about.
Okay.
If you have a world magazine, you can't find yourself there unless you pay the dues. So, you see, he was talking about small Kwara State, This is Lagos. This is Lagos. It's just like an apple and orange, comparison,
But he mentioned Kaduna State too, where he said he had been able to suppress the influence of 4 godfathers.
Who are they? Who are they? You see, people can just talk, but you don't know. If you want to fight somebody who is your enemy, what you need to do is to assess the strength of your enemy, probably his weaknesses, before you. And Lagos is not Kwara State. Saraki is not Asiwaju. I can tell you that Asiwaju has built up leaders for close to 30 years. Name them. From Fashola to Ambode to vice president to anybody, including myself. I was brought into Lagos State government in 2007 by Asiwaju. And I've become a better person in terms of training and service delivery. So, and it's not only in Lagos. That is what they do not know. There is no, if you gather about 40 people anywhere in this country, in any state in this country, and probably you're saying something against Asiwaju, there must be somebody there who would have been touched by Asiwaju.
No, but beyond the person. The discussion was about the idea of godfatherism.
It must be there.
You support it. You like the idea of...
It must be there. Ruben, if you pay your dues, people will come for you. You will become their leader. It happens all over the world. People with, Asiwaju the godfather. Can you do what he has done? That was the major thrust of my article. I was not praised. I said, those who want to be like Asiwaju, what have you done? You see, people will follow you because you care, because you can be trusted, because you know where you're going, because you are defendable, because you stand for something. Can you open your house the way he opens his house every other day and hundreds of people will be there, both inside and outside. And he takes care of them. Achiwaju is I don't know how to describe him, but he's a leader you cannot push away or you begin to compare him with other people. Go and earn your followers if you want, and it's not going to be a day's job.
You just said to Dr. Abati that you have to study your enemy. So why is there enmity in the ranks of the APC when you should be basking in the glow of your electoral victory? Also, why would Nasir el-Rufai, who's a major figure in your party, come to Lagos and launch this kind of a broadside at another major figure within your party? What exactly is going on? And you have today's headline, which I will show you this day, announcing Fayemi, who has just emerged as NGF chairperson, as Southwest numero uno. We know that that position has been occupied by Asiwaju. Is there any credence to the rumors that all is not well between Abuja and Asiwaju?
You see, let me come from a background of a kind of history. The president came in 2003, he did not win. 2007, he did not win. 2011, he did not win. In 2015, Asiwaju brought in Southwest. He won. And I think it's not a fit. I know what was put in place, a kind of networking, time, energy expended to get to where we are. APC is a very big party. Don't ever think that there won't be any skirmishes or in-house struggle. Struggle for power is not a Tea Party. If you're not strong enough, they will put you in the back seat. Some people will be in the front seat and you'll be in the back seat. So everybody wants to be in the front seat. And that has not removed the overall target of the party. Yes, people within the party can quarrel. Even in Lagos, you have it. Even in other states, you have it. But we have not forgotten where we're going, our destination. So these things are part of the game. It's part of the democratic process. You disagree, they agree. There may be problems within the, governors' forum, but you saw their decisions yesterday. Somebody left bench. So my summary is that if you want to be like Asiwaju, go and work for the people. Go and slave for the people. Go and spend money for the people. Groom your leaders. Bring them up the way he has brought us up. Not only me, thousands of people across. Some people will come from North, they say they want to go to House of Reps, he will encourage them to go. Tomorrow, if they come back, if they begin to show loyalty to him from Gongola State or from Bauchi State, and people will be sitting down, what have you done to earn leadership?
Well, Joe, instead of this conversation becoming all about Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I keep trying to draw your attention to the subtext of Nasir el-Rufai's submission at that forum. One of the things he said, for example, is that, look, you won't have any godfather imposing candidates on you if you take a second look at voter mobilization, voter education, and you start early. And he said, in Lagos State, in the last elections, there were 6 million voters, right? How come 5 million, about 5 million voters did not even show up at all? And that if you want to make people's votes count, and you want to free yourself from the grips of the commanding godfather, all you need to do is to start now and begin to mobilize so that there will be such voter turnout that nobody can manipulate, either with bags of rice or with stomach infrastructure, in front of the house and the back of the house in Bodilon. So right. Can you address that fundamental point he was making?
Okay, you see, people sometimes say what they do not know. Perhaps you think that Asiwaju just sits in his house and then take decisions and everybody will just follow. Maybe you don't know that you have G21 or G22 in Lagos, decision makers. It doesn't force anything, their truths. It's a body, decision-making body in Lagos. About 22 of them. advisory council, you know. So it's not a one-man decision, but it's the head. And everybody respects, you know, him. And he has been getting it right. You know, he's the godfather. He has been able to transform Lagos to become the fifth largest economy in Africa. They have added humongous values in Lagos, that Lagos now is now a kind of template in matters of leadership. You see, it's only when the godfather is not performing, when he has not added values to the system, that's when you begin to pass. There's a man that is catching lion every other day, and you don't want to say that he's a hero. Every other year he takes lion, single-handedly, and you think it's not. No, we're not. Women, you know, we've come along. We don't. How can we begin to, you know? We celebrate people. This is to do now. This is Abiola's daughter. You know how we struggled for 27 years to get recognition today. You know how we struggled. You in particular. You know how we got to this stage. Why did we do that? When the issue of Abiola came up in 1993, said, have you gone around the country and see what he has done? In my alma mater, far away, we came there and dropped money. If you go to that school today, you see the money dropped in the 90s, 80s. So that's how he built his network across Nigeria. And on June 12, 1993, he was paid. And people were talking. Yeah. What did you do? You see, these things don't come overnight. It's just like tomorrow, when people come across Nigeria and pay Achiwaju for what he has done. You know, people, you just sit in your house and you judge people. The man does not sleep. He's awake when other people are sleeping. He will be in his house till 3 a.m., 4 a.m. He will come out the back of the sitting room where everybody is sleeping. So he says, okay, all of you are sleeping. There's no meaning that is awake. You are waiting to see me.
But do you think you were fair to Nasir el-Rufai? I mean, you know that apart from the fact that he's governor, he's also a public intellectual of sorts. And he has his right, you know, to express an opinion. But you just dismissed him. You said he should just go back to his Kaduna.
No.
And then you pointed out, then there was some mischief again in your reaction. You said, well, what do you expect? That the question was asked by Muiz Banire. So how is it Muiz Banire's problem? You know, if he asks a question,
No,
and the man, yes.
I'm in the system, so I don't understand.
You said what?
I said I'm in the system, so I understand where that was.
So you were suggesting that was orchestrated?
Of course.
No, you cannot prove that.
No, I said I'm in the system. I understand the politics. I know Banire's position in matters of APC and Lagos politics. So it's not. It was a planned deal to decimate, you know, to decimate Achiwaju in Lagos. So as to ridicule his name. But the article I posted, you know, because I don't, I said, but I wrote an article about when he was 67. I wrote, that's where I just, people were asking me questions, I just posted the article to them. So I did it even before the event. Those things you're talking about, I did it before the event. I wrote it down before the event. So we know what is going on. We know the struggle. He was the commissioner for almost 12 years here, and we know the problems. So that Lagos show was a deliberate plan, act to get at Achiwaju. And those of us who know Achiwaju will not just sit down. Will not just sit down. It's funny. Lagos is not Kaduna.
But what is the plan
Who are
to
the
resolve
godfathers in
it?
Kaduna? One small place. Now, what do they have? What are they going to bring to the table?
But what is the plan to resolve this issue? Because you have said that this sort of enmity will rear its head every so often in a party, but what is the plan going forward?
It is part of democratic process. You will never solve all the problems of this world. If you think that in Lagos, every other person will be behind Achiwaju, then there will be no PDP, there won't be other parties. Every election year, they challenge us, and we always beat them.
That comment coming from a PDP person would not raise eyebrows, but coming from el-Rufai of APC, it was quite the bombshell.
If you want to probably contest for something, or you want to be somebody, you need to try to bring other people down before you get to where you're going. I think that's what he's trying to do. It's all about ambition.
Oh, so is this about 2023?
Well, I don't know, but it is because you need to target. If you want to get to somewhere, you need to first of all sit down here, define your weaknesses. That's what they call, is it what also weaknesses? What you want to gain. Who are the people that are going to be against you? How do you deal with them? He didn't come to Lagos to come and do show, to come and do party. Okay, he came to Lagos to worry about his political career and where he's going. You think he doesn't want to be president? He wants to.
Let's push the conversation in another direction. Maybe we will still come back to this. Earlier on, you referred to Chief MKO Abiola and June 12, 1993. June 12 now has been made Democracy Day. But there are some of us, who are arguing that it shouldn't just be Democracy Day. It should be MKO Abiola Day. Because Democracy Day is so generic, in about 10, 15 years' time, people will just think it's just one generic holiday. But if it is MKO Abiola Day, don't you think that's better? Wow. And why, if you think so?
If you are owing me, Dr. Bati, if you are owing me 1 million, and I come to your house and give me 500, I'll put 500 inside my pocket, and I'll wait for the other 500. There's no way you can detach. Once you say June 12th, it's MK Abiola's Day. So whether you call it MK Abiola's Day or Democracy Day, it doesn't mean anything. But we know what June 12 stands for. We fought for 27 years.
In a country where the teaching of history has become optional?
No, we know history. We're talking about it. I wrote a book about it. Heroes of Democracy. Yes, you know about it. There's nothing about this country that we do not know. You know about the other one, IBB option.
No, we're not talking about you, our generation.
Yes.
It's about future generations.
I understand.
And properly iconizing MKO Abiola.
That's what we lack. That's what we lack. The kind of education that we had is not what is trending now. Thousands of people you have in universities today don't have what is called entry qualifications. In other words, what do I mean? You are not supposed to cross the gate of the university as a student. These are the people who don't read and they want to pass. Somebody will be in Lagos and the examination will be going on. Somebody will just be standing in for him there or her. And how do you know your history? If you are not properly educated, just like what we are discussing this morning, polytechnics, universities, what's the meaning of that? If you want to, one professor will say, if you want to go to polytechnic, go there. If you want to go to university, go to university. There are two different things. You see, and you're talking of moving polytechnics to university. Have you put the structures in place? Because they're not the same. So we encourage people, if you say you want to go to school, go to proper school, go to be educated. I'm an engineer by training. But I write better because I study history. I study almost 12 hours in a day. Getting information because I need information to be able to deliver anywhere I go. But people don't know it. I had 2 children in my house. My family members, they came. They were preparing for work. And I didn't see them sit down for 1 hour reading. And I said, how are you going to pass? I said, Uncle, we will pass. Uncle, we will pass. I remember we started sleeping in the class. Noko Memorial Grammar School, Newi, in class 3. Me in particular, I prepare for exams. And I will read up everything. When you give me a question paper, my problem is, which one will I take? Because I know everything there. That's the way we were brought up. We started sleeping in the class, in class 3. That time we were using lantern. There was no electricity in our school. These days, parents will go and write jam for their children. Professionals who write, they make money every year. That's their business, to go and write jam for children. And they score 300. They don't have entry qualification. They are not supposed to cross the gate of the university. In university, I went to University of Nigeria. That was the university that started humanities.
Oh, so
and
social
social sciences.
You are a lion.
Yes.
Oh, no wonder
yes.
you like the lion of
yes.
Babylon.
so in the University of Nigeria, they teach you how to, if you are a science student, they teach you humanities. If you are an art student, they teach you, social sciences. So that you will be versatile. Anywhere you go, you'll be able to defend yourself. So while I was in engineering, we were taking GS courses. Since I started GS courses, general studies, to hit you into other areas so that you will not be a novice anywhere. That's why I'm sitting here today. That's why I become a writer. 3 books. On my decks, people sometimes they don't know where to put me.
And several articles.
Yes, they don't know where to put me. You say you're an engineer, mechanical engineering for that matter? I say yes. In Nsukka, we were loaded. I don't know what is going on now.
Someone was quoted recently.
Yes.
Somebody who should know, saying that the Southeast did not vote for the APC in the last election. And that on the basis of that, the Southeast should not talk about 2023 presidency for the Southeast. That they have lost that opportunity by not joining the winning party. And here you are, defending APC and all of that. And I'm told that the meaning of your surname, Igbokwe, means if Igbo agrees. I mean,
yes.
You and your people, you don't seem to be on the same page politically.
No. You see, it's only a foolish man who will be pointing to his father's house with his left hand. I just came back from home. I go home every month.
No, some of your kinsmen, they say you are a Yoruba man.
That's what they will say.
You should stay permanently with Asiwaju in Lagos.
No, don't worry. I'm a Nigerian. Joe Igbokwe does not know East, West, North, or South. That's my philosophy. That's my life. But that does not remove the obvious and painful truth that I know where I'm coming from. I just returned from home on Wednesday. So I go home at least once in a month.
But about this 2023 presidency?
Well, politics is a game of numbers. I agree. And we won. Because of the elections, I was almost weeping. I was telling my people, I said, please, make an effort to make an impact in APC. 2, 3 states, so that we can use that to negotiate. These things are not, you can't get it on a platter of gold. You must put something on the table. I told you how Asiwaju brought Southwest into the picture, and the president won in 2015. If he had removed that structure of Southwest in 2019, we wouldn't be talking about President Buhari now. It would have been history. So, and after 2019, we got worse.
After 2015, you mean?
After 2019, the situation got worse. The even worst state we had was traded away due to political stupidity and inconsistency. So we lost out. Go and look at it. But for the sake of national unity, if you go to social media, you see hate, abuse, for the sake of national unity. And I go back to history. The President Obasanjo was in the mediation committee in Rwanda. Rwanda has 90% Hutus and 10% Tutsis. And the Tutsis said there were 10%, that are 10% that asked them for 50 per share. And they said, why? Your population is 10%. Hutus, 90%, that you're asking for 50 per share. He said, given their history, given what happened to us, because you know the story of their forefathers, they were driven into some African countries and chased away from Rwanda by the Hutus. Their forefathers died. They regrouped and came back and fought and took power. They said, we have a history. Protect us by giving us 50% of the power. Yeah. Probably that's why Kagame is a Tutsi, even though they're only 10%. In that case, the number of votes doesn't matter. It's for the sake of national unity and security issues. I go again to Canada. French-speaking people in Canada, just 10%. But they have produced a prime minister for the sake of national unity. Don't forget the Civil War, 1967 to 1970. Don't forget that Igbo people lost 1 million souls. And that the wound of that Civil War, since that time, they have not produced the president of Nigeria. Don't tell me they will be happy. They are not happy. I said, remove the issue of votes. Building a nation is a hard thing. It's not a tea party. It's not, you make sacrifices. It's all engaging. Very taxing, very engaging, you know. It's not something you can just say, oh, they are not. My father, it's one adage in our area. You know blue? You know blue? Some small packet blue we put in clothing in those days. Very small amount of money, toro, we call it toro. You buy it blue, but it can destroy a cloth of 100,000 naira if you're not careful.
If you don't mix it well,
if you don't mix it well, it will destroy a cloth of 100,000 naira. So don't go away, oh, you didn't vote. You didn't vote. Look at it on the table. I've been in Southwest politically for 4 years now. Is it? What we hear, okay, you go, you're not going to be part of it, go to a PDP. I mean, somebody say that even if you give presidential candidates of APC to the Southeast, they will still go and vote PDP. People are saying because of this. But let's not look at the votes. Let's look at the stability of this country and the future of this country. There is no doubt, Dr. Patti, our people are grieved. They don't see themselves as being part of this country because of where things are going. But if you look at it, all the zones have 6 states. We have only 5 states. That means anything you are sharing in this country will get the list. Whether it's revenue, whether it's number of senators, whether it's number of House of Rep members, House of Assembly, they're 5. Others have 6, others have speakers. So all down the line until you get to the lowest, we'll get the list of everything that is being shared in this country. Have they considered our population? Have they considered them part of Igbo people in the economy of Nigeria? Massive investors, massive builders of anywhere they find themselves. Ruben, I was going to write, I have been planning to write a book on Igbo in Lagos. You need to see the investment in Lagos. What they have in Lagos, they don't have a quarter of it in the Southeast as a whole. In fact, many sophisticated people, traders will have big time good that they reside in Lagos here. Go to every part of Lagos and see the investment, because nobody has been able to take the statistics.
But despite that, during the last general elections, Igbos in Lagos complained that, you know, they were being targeted, and that became a big issue. Yeah. I didn't hear you speaking up for Igbos at the time to say, look, do not harass them, they have the right to also vote. And we saw some of those videotapes.
Well, I witnessed what happened. And some things are better not said.
No, tell us for our own education and for the enlightenment.
No, I understand there were some areas where they were even almost forced to vote for APC. And we tell them, we say, look, the man that is on the ballot of PDP is not an Igbo person. They need to make their choice, you know. But there are things that went wrong that I didn't want to discuss here. I'm a leader. I don't want to cause trouble. But if I sit with the leaders in Lagos, I'll be able to tell them what I saw. Wow. It will be for another day. Sometimes you don't say things. There are certain things you don't say publicly. But let them, what I want Lagos State government to understand is that they need to study Igbo, presence of Igbo in Lagos. They have not invested in the kind of investment they have in Lagos is not something you can overlook. One man told me that I'm more of it. He said, look, where people don't understand politics, we cannot cheat them again, because they have before. They don't come out during elections. They will just be watching their videos. What they do in Okota area is to go and ask NEPA to take their lights. One man told me, they will ask NEPA to take lights so that they will come out and vote. Once NEPA take light, they will go and start starting their generators. You will see, they just coming up. They just see it as, yeah, let them go and do that. But now, their eyes are open. They know that you can't be talking of economy without talking about politics, because politics is superior to economics. That's what Professor Lasky teaches in the School of London School of Economics.
Harold S. Lasky.
Yes. Politics is superior to economics. If you cannot get your politics right, economy will not work.
But I want to talk to you about this issue of national unity from a different perspective. Yeah. APC took umbrage at former President Obasanjo's comments about the Islamization and Fulanization of Nigeria. But some people would say that this is self-evident. Why were you so upset as a party?
No, we're not upset. I'm not upset. The party may have taken a position, but we may not like Obasanjo, but he has been a two-time president of this country, and he has the information. Wole Soyinka said it yesterday, said, do not dismiss what the man said, study it. It's a statement. It's not something we play our politics, but when it comes to the issue like that, issue of national security, every information is important. And when it's coming from a former head of state, two-time, 8 years, and other years as military officer, you should be able to listen to him. So take information. You can take information from a madman. You can take information from anybody. Somebody can save you. If you know the story of the Bible, Naaman was a full general in the army, but he was afflicted with leprosy. It was a slave girl in his house that told him, you go to the other side, Jordan, and meet a prophet, and you'll be healed. He didn't say, it's five-star general like me to go and meet a common, this slave girl telling me what to do.
But will the government take Obasanjo's advice? Because Obasanjo said to involve everybody in the solution, including those who are perceived to have failed, tried their hand at it in the past and failed. Do you see the government calling such a roundtable together?
No choice. He has no choice. That's my personal opinion. Anybody that is anybody in matters of security should be called to the table to discuss what is going on. What is going on is not normal. That's why I say it is not normal.
Quickly, still on this issue of national unity, there's been a story, out there in the public domain about government licensing a radio station, shortwave radio station for herdsmen and other categories that will broadcast in Fufu Day. Yes. Do you think that I need to be shortwave? Do you think that this is a good thing? This is a good decision to have a dedicated, radio station for just a particular group? You must have seen the arguments on social media.
When people talk about things they do not know, just people must know that there's nothing that is as important as security. We have not invested in security in this country. Even the money that we put down, we are stolen. You see, the way we invest in banking sector, oil sector, in education, is the way we should invest in security. I saw the investment of security in Lagos, and I saw the reward. Not the money, but they put into security in Lagos, and I saw the reward. So how much does it take to put up a radio station? It's the best thing to do now, if it will help us. It will boil down to what I said about blue and 100,000 naira worth of clothing. People play politics with almost everything. Why do you think federal government is thinking like that? There's information they have that you don't have. We need to know what is going on. You need information for you to work. How much is radio station? We have not invested in security. That's why we're suffering. Almost all our borders in the north are porous. We're supposed to have army barracks, naval base across the north, porous. The other day I saw huge number of Okada people with rice. Some of them 5 bags, some of them 10 bags. Running not one, up to 1,000, moving into Nigeria. and we're encouraging farmers here to grow rice. Whereas trailer loads of rice are being pumped into Nigeria through our northern borders unchecked. So it's a small money that can give you information that you require to handle a dangerous situation. People should not talk about what they do not know. Radio station don't mean anything.
What you have said, I know that if we keep you here for another hour, you will still have a lot to say. But in just 2 or 3 sentences, what kind of federal cabinet would you like to see going forward? You know, President Buhari, you know, he had a valedictory session with the Executive Council of the Federation. And Nigerians are looking forward to a new team that they hope will not take 4 or 6 months to put together.
You know, I will advise that we look at those of them that are good. I listened to what Fashola said. Fashola said since 1952 we had 67 ministers of works. 67. And if you divide 34 ministers in 67 years. If you divide 67 by 34, you have 1.9 years. That's not up to 2 years. So, when will you plan your design as a minister of works? For you to do the second Niger bridge that I saw Monday coming up, you need to climb in the bridge and getting out from Asaba side and Onitsha side. Asaba side is free because that place it was not built up. It's free. But inside the other side of Onitsha were fully built up. Nobody negotiated with the landowners and houses there to create the roads that were connecting roads to the bridge. It will take you about a year or 2 to do those things before you start the bridge proper. And people think that building the bridge is just when you see it. Those pillars I saw in Onitsha, some of them went deep, about 15-story building. Each and every one of them inside that River Niger, when about the height of a 15 to 20-story building. So seeing the surface, seeing the bridge is the final bus stop, but nobody is talking about the foundation. You know, you don't see the foundation. People don't live. Foundation is where you spend the money, but people don't live there. It's what is carrying the house, but people don't live there. When somebody sees a 50-story building, and you're planning to do that, and you're laying the foundation for 2 years, people will not know what you're doing. It's only people like us that are engineers that will know what the foundation is the real thing. Once that foundation there, you can now see the building coming up, but you don't know what is at the foundation. So we will get there. We will get there. Well, what my final take is this: find those who are good, and retain them. A minister needs at least 4 years to lay foundation. 4 years to lay foundation. If you go to some other countries, you see somebody that has been. That's one thing Lagos has done very well. Banide was commissioner for 12 years. They have been there. You learn the job before you move it. That's what Lagos, they have to borrow that leave from Lagos to create stability. In a situation where you've had about 37 ministers, 34 ministers in 52 years. You know, 67, not 52, 67.
You have made a good case.
Just small.
For Minister Babatude Fashola for a second time.
Well, not only.
Well, thank you very much, Joe Igbokwe.